Listen, vision, listen, vision, listen, vision.
All right, there's Tony. Where's the rest of us? PJ. Hello, welcome to the Swerve Show. There's Tony Nelson.
Hey there.
I don't know what we all look like, but want to welcome everyone to the Swerve Show. It is April Fool's Day, y'all. April 1st. Look at it. Welcome. Tonight we have L Train, my buddy L Train, Tony Nelson. Hey, Tony.
There. Hi. How are you guys?
Is there any way for you to expand our windows a little bit? No? Yes? No? Okay. Well, let's keep it moving, y'all. So this is the Swerve Show. I'm Jamil Fletcher, the publisher of Swerve. And, we're all shut down, y'all. So we're all coronavirus and at home, staying at home, right?
That's right.
Yes.
Okay. Right.
Yeah,
I'm ready to get out and play, but it's a whole nother story. So, of course, our March-April issue is out featuring the new overall father of the House of Mizrahi, and that would be George Mizrahi. Can we show his image, please? I guess it's showing. Is it showing, PJ?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the image is showing.
Okay. All right. And George is in California. I hope he's doing well. I know they are struggling out there. He's got a whole new role with them as the overall father of this international house. And this is a legendary house in the ballroom community. Anyway, and of course, we have advertising opportunities both within the magazine and on the show. We can go to that second slide. All right. Then we have that. And so hit us up if you got your budget, and we will work with you. We promise to work with you. All right. Hey, Sylvia. Anyway, so let's keep it moving, y'all. Let's go to some news.
Hey, Teresa.
Let's go to some news, y'all. The only subject we're talking about is this international global pandemic coronavirus. How y'all doing in this thing? What's your thoughts on this?
Well, we just I think we have to really, really pay close attention to what the experts are saying. Because it's getting serious. It's gotten serious. It's very serious. And
it is serious because it's almost, reminds me of the HIV, the AIDS epidemic. Because now every time I turn around, somebody's dying.
Yeah. That's what it reminds me of. And it's very stressful.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the crazy thing is, I'm wondering, even after social distancing is all out, how long will it take for people to feel comfortable in parts of groups?
There's a level in the way that's going to absolutely. I think so as well.
There's going to be some anxiety there, and
I've already got anxiety about it. I'm going to be wearing a mask when you see me out in public, at least throughout the summer.
Yeah. And one thing about those masks, you got to make sure you're supposed to clean those masks after you wear them. So.
Or throw them out.
or throw them out. You cannot just keep wearing them over and over again and thinking that you're doing something. Correct.
But it's a scary time. I can't believe so Florida just implemented the stay-at-home policy. But you got people, state governors talking about free will.
Well, also, they have people like some Trump groups are threatening Dr. Fauci. They have to
threaten him with what?
Threaten his life.
You're kidding.
Well, no, because he's finally starting to speak out against some of the things that 45 is saying. One thing I will say, I think that 45 is starting to finally align with Dr. Fauci, but it's taken a while, and I don't know how long that's going to last because he flip-flops more than a gymnast. But I will say that I think that for now he seems to be aligning himself with science, and the good thing about that is everything that Fauci is saying is starting to hold a little bit more validity for the MAGA people. Most of us were listening to him anyway, and we're like, okay, yeah, finally somebody with some sense. But you know how it typically goes with them. So hopefully they'll kind of remain on his side and listen to him and go with his advice.
Well, his numbers have turned around again. They're going back in the South. No, they're not. His popularity is waning again. You know, it had picked up before, but now it's kind of like they don't know what's happening. So, you know, he has to get. I just don't trust anything that he does, because it's like you have to get on board, because you're trying to appease people. It's more about votes in the election versus just smart governance and good leadership.
Well, the other thing is, it's gotten real to him. From what I understand, there's some people that he knows personally who are now being impacted. I think one guy passed, and some others are still in the hospital. So I think it got real to him.
Are you kidding me?
No, that's what one of the announcers said. One of the pundits said. So I'm wondering, can everyone see everybody? Because I don't know if I've changed this view or not. I think, Tony, I don't think we don't see you anymore, or do we? Oh, there you are. There you are. Okay. All right. Well, so the one thing that's come out of, the one thing that's happening today with all these people with this high unemployment, rent is due. And so there were April rent protests today.
Mm-hmm.
April rent protests?
Yes.
What does that mean?
What they want to do is they want to force the government to not enforce, not allow people to collect rent. But they want to make sure also, first of all, that you don't get foreclosed on or evicted. They want to put a ban on evictions now. People don't have jobs and they can't pay rent.
Well, hey, Yarday.
Hey.
I think they want to.
We didn't know you were joining us, my friend. Yarday.
Yep.
How you doing?
All right. Can we see everyone? PJ just told me that every time we close our Skype, our cameras get disabled. So it might be the view. What window format should I have? Should I have float, grid view, speaker, window? What should I do, PJ? Tell me. Anyway.
Float.
Well, let's keep it moving. We were just talking about the April rent protest. What do y'all think about that? About foreclosure, a ban on that? I think we need to halt everything. But you can't. They don't allow you to turn the water off and the power off during this. Supposedly.
It angers me that it even has to be done, and there has to be a discussion about this. With all the shit that they said during all of these press runs of, we're going to make sure that nobody gets evicted, and we're going to make sure this, and we're going to make sure that. But even when you look at Jared Kushner and the buildings that he owns, he's still expecting rent to be paid on the buildings that he owns.
No, he's not. No, don't tell me that.
Yes, he is. He is still sending out paperwork to the people that live in his buildings, talking about, you can pay online. Exactly. He has not said anything about, we're going to forgive you for this month, or we're going to delay it, or anything like that. So when you have people who literally have had the rug pulled from up under them, they don't have unemployment yet or anything like that, and you still expect them to do that, I think it's absolutely ignorant that people have to even make this a point to have to protest. You should, and the fact that they're out there protesting totally goes against what we're supposed to be doing anyway.
Well,
so
right. You got that right.
Probably not. So you got them out there. They're protesting. They're fighting to not have to pay their rent because they don't have the money. They don't have the job. And people are, like the fact that it even has to be done is absolutely asinine.
Well, this is capitalism at its best. But where are the stimulus checks? Have y'all gotten your stimulus checks yet?
We probably won't see those for like another week.
Is it going to be that soon?
They were supposed to be out.
How organized is that, though?
And in the meantime, in between time, Canada citizens are getting $2,000 a month.
Exactly.
For 4 months.
Are they?
Yes, they get $8,000 divided by 4 months.
Is that every citizen, or is that just the citizens that file for unemployment stuff?
No, that's every citizen. That's their stimulus package includes $2,000 per citizen a month.
Canada slaves. That's all I'm gonna say.
They have their own problems, but I tell you what, I'm going to retire in Canada. I've already decided. I need to get up there and see what the residency.
Not if they let you in.
Not after this. I'm going. Bye, y'all.
It's too cold.
Mm.
Are there any warm places in Canada?
In the summertime.
Even then, it's still like 80s, like low 80s on.
Right. It's not burning hot.
It's worth it. It's definitely worth it if you can get in. But I'm telling you, after all of this, we're not necessarily all that welcome. They're very clear about, you know what? There's some hoops you're gonna have to jump through.
I'm sure of that because we would all be running once we find out the deal.
But I'm sure they put all of that. I'm sure they put all of those provisions in effect after Trump was elected president, because everybody was trying to run to the border.
They did, and because they put out videos then when he won, and they were like, "Oh, you don't want to come up here."
I didn't see those.
Oh, YouTube them. Trust me, on YouTube, there's videos all out that literally the day that he won, the very next day they had videos saying, "Oh, so you want to come up here? It's not that great," and they were trying to make it clear, like, you don't want to come here. Mm-hmm.
But also, what's interesting is that I think the people in Canada were just completely enamored with the fact that God really elected that fool. Like we wind up going to
the world is enamored with the fact that we elected.
We went to the Dominican Republic it was right after election, and we would run into a whole bunch of people from Canada, and they would always be like, "So, how you like your new president?"
Well, they cheated. We know they cheated. They fixed the voting machines. There was an HBO documentary on that. But anyway, so that raises the importance of the census. The 2020 census is coming up, y'all.
No, it's due today. Today's the day, isn't it?
No.
I'm sure they extended the date.
Today's the due date?
Today's the due date. April 1st.
But I'm sure they had extended. Baby, they extended tax returns. So I know they extended the census.
I didn't see anything about them extended. I went and did mine today. My mother called and said, "Did you do yours?" I went on mine.
It's sitting right here. I ain't gonna do it. I'm gonna do it tonight. Anyway, all right. Well, just for that reminder, I'm sure they extended it. We'll find out. Check out this video, y'all. Run it, PJ.
In America, we all count, no matter where we call home, how we worship, or who we love. And the 2020 census is how that great promise is kept. Because this is the count that informs where hundreds of billions in funding will go each year for things like education, healthcare, and programs that touch us all. Complete the census online, by phone, or by mail. Shape your future. Start here at 2020census.gov. In America, we all count, no matter where we call home, how we worship, or who we love. And the 2020 census is how that great promise is kept. Because this is the count that informs where hundreds of billions in funding will go each year for things like education, healthcare, and programs that touch us all. Complete the census online, by phone, or by mail. Shape your future. Start here at 2020 Census.
All right, y'all. Tony just informed us that April 1st is the deadline, so you need to do that now.
Midnight. So please, if you haven't done it, it literally you can go online to census.gov. I put in where can I do my census online? It took me right there to a little spot. I didn't know the number. There's a number that comes with your letter. If you have your letter, it makes it easier, but I didn't know the number. So I had to put in some extra information, but it took me exactly maybe 7 minutes.
Oh, but they're going to have to extend that because that's going to be so widely represented.
Well, you know who's in charge. Why would he?
Right.
Yeah.
They want it to be that way.
Yeah, but I'm sure those rural white folks didn't complete it either.
Well, I encourage everybody to go out and do their duty. And they were saying, online, they talk about you could get fined for not doing it.
Huh?
Online, it was saying that you could get fined.
I'm surprised at that. I mean, we don't have the capacity to enforce nothing. Nevertheless, that again.
How you could do that, but it sure did say that. So let me go ahead and put this through.
Since we're talking about fines, I was told here in DC. I know yesterday they put the mandate in that everyone stays in the house. I think it was yesterday. Everybody's phones were going off around midnight, with an Amber Alert saying stay in the house.
Mhm.
Somebody told me that they're initiating a fine in the DMV. If
They
they
are.
catch you outside after 12 midnight, they charge you a $5,000 fine.
Well,
Not
I mean, I,
it's 10
I wouldn't doubt it, but I mean,
it's five. It's $5,000.
That's what
I would,
I heard.
It's $5,000.
Yeah,
unless you're essential, unless you have a reason to be
but
out.
you
I
have to
would
prove
doubt.
it. You have to prove it.
My
Right, right.
badge has a marker on it where I can go out, but I have no intentions to. My work badge.
I think
told myself I
Maryland
wouldn't
is 8 o'clock. We got an 8 o'clock curfew.
I think DC
In
is.
Maryland.
I think DC is 10 o'clock.
Oh,
Well, y'all, let's go to what's hot. Let's go to what's hot. All right, we got additional cancellations, y'all. So you know everything. The Olympics have been canceled, all this other stuff. Now Wimbledon is canceled. I'm a tennis person, so
Well, so is it canceled or is it postponed?
it's canceled. They're not doing it, and that hasn't been canceled since I think they said 2000. No, since the World War II. So,
oh wow.
and that's mid-July that they plan to do that. Of course, all the prides and stuff are already canceled.
Well, the Capitol Pride said they were postponing until further notice, but I think they may have changed that to cancel.
Yeah, and so that's the global pride. You know, they're doing a virtual global pride on June 27th.
Uh-huh.
And it's supposed to be, incorporating all the prides around the world. Funny, in the press release, they didn't mention anything about black prides.
Well, Black Pride, Kenya Hutton was on yesterday with a conversation. You can join in, and he was saying that he is in conversation. I don't want to misquote him, but they did say they were in conversation with Capitol Pride about combining some stuff. He did say something to that effect.
Oh, that could work. But I mean, I think the fall is done, to be honest with you.
Let's just be over it.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm sorry. Hold on. So, and I love the fact that they're putting forth the effort. Way to go, yay! But what the hell is a virtual pride? Like, are we because if everybody has to be in the house, are we gonna have like Deborah Cox and Jennifer Holliday singing in their basement or something? What is going on? Like, I don't.
Or in Lone Studios, and you chime in. I don't know either. That's what the release said. There'll be streamed programming.
I look forward to the creativity of it, and I will tune in. But I just need somebody to enlighten me on how that's going to work. A virtual pride. That's like these virtual funerals and virtual weddings. I'm sorry, but sometimes you just got to say it's not going to happen. And unless you can, unless you can show me something different, I'm trying to figure out what's going to happen.
It would have to be creative. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but I feel for a lot of just a lot of people like the promoters and stuff like these people are putting a lot of money in. But
oh yeah.
It's not an easy situation, but
somehow. Like if you're a club promoter, it's done. You're not.
Well, I think what's also interesting, as you all know, that we've been planning my mother's wedding, and so one of those hard conversations that we had to have is like, what's going to happen with the wedding? Clearly, most of the money has been paid for the venue, and so at this point, we're just kind of on pause to kind of find out what the contingency plan is with the actual venue. So we're waiting for them to respond back. We believe. The date was actually scheduled for June 13th, June 13th, 2020. My mother has come up with another date in her head, a postponement date, which I'm very proud of her, thinking ahead of herself. So she has a contingency date, and we're going to check with the venue to see if that's even a possibility.
But I mean, come on, let's be real, y'all. This is a global pandemic. I would imagine they're going to honor those contracts and just. I mean, let's be real.
Well, that's what we would hope. But the reality of it is that I heard, I actually just had a call from one of my friends who called me about my mom's wedding because one of her close friends was literally battling with the hotel that she was having her wedding at. And like the wedding, the cost of the venue was, I think she said, was like $2,700 just for the venue itself. And the venue canceled the event and wanted to keep $5,000 out of the money. And it was like, what? No. And I was like, that don't sound right. But, folks will try anything in moments like this.
That's a call to your council member and your attorney.
But keep in mind, though, that not only are they like canceling them, you have all these people who, okay, your wedding is but anywhere from April to say even July, and typically everybody's going to say, well, now I want it in the fall.
Right.
Well, what about all those people who are already scheduled for the fall as well?
Exactly.
Now,
Yeah, right,
a
right.
whole lot of weddings and stuff on a Thursday, on a Tuesday, because that's the only time they can get, or like 9 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday. Like who want, it's really, it's a situation.
Well, these are all extenuating, what they call extenuating circumstances.
But just understand that they don't have to be honored either, though, because some of these businesses are not doing right by the situation.
And
but they will. The government will ensure that. I mean, because this was
The government, as in 45, will do that for us.
Local government. There's ways around all that stuff. I mean, come on. Let's be real. All right, now let's keep it moving.
I'll await that.
You said what?
I'll await to see whether that happens or not.
Oh yeah, because there's too much money involved. There's too many businesses that have lost money because of a government mandated, seclusion. So, well, y'all, there were 2 films. Well, actually, this one's coming up. It's coming on HBO. I can't wait to see it. It's a documentary, Atlanta Missing and Murdered. Can we run that clip?
The surveillance on the bridge was covert.
I remember sitting in the car, the radio squelch broke, and I heard something about a splash.
It was 3 a.m.
They looked up on the bridge and they can see headlights.
They had pulled someone over. I said, do you know why we pulled you over? And he goes, yeah, it's got something to do with those missing kids.
July 29th, 1979, police find the badly decomposed bodies of 2 teenagers.
Next thing you know, another body.
It didn't become the story it should have been until there were 9 young people who were dead. Black children were missing.
Been missing since.
Missing.
Okay, now this is going to get bad.
The killings accelerated in pace.
Kids are disappearing once a month. Maynard Jackson went up to the White House and said, I want every living FBI agent on the planet in Atlanta.
It had to be somebody the kids knew and trusted. He was the connection.
Who is this guy, Wayne Williams?
We found the killer, and that's it. But that really wasn't it.
You had people saying that this has to be the Klan or this has to be some crooked cop, but nobody really knew anything.
They didn't follow those leads. They chose Wayne.
This could have turned into a riot because people were that angry.
Elected officials did not want this case to go on. The families never had any closure.
We have begun going through evidence to see if there's anything that was never tested. We have an obligation to ensure that every investigative lead is followed.
I want to know who killed Curtis. I'm not going to stop because I'm a warrior.
This vulnerability that at any moment you could be stolen. We come from stolen people. That's deep in our psyche.
Do what should have been done. Solve the cases.
It's one of those memories you have of Atlanta. You really wish you didn't have it.
All right. Well, y'all, that looks pretty interesting. I want to see that. It comes on, I think, Sunday. So, number 7, Doty Retreat. I'm not sure what happened after that. Do we have a slide for that? For some time, I'm sure that's going to happen. There it is. All right, July 8th to the 12th. I hear they're debating, waiting to see. But to be honest with you, y'all, I mean, if Wimbledon's canceled and that's after that, chances are that's canceled.
Well, who gonna go? I mean, would you go? I love the guys, but would you go? I mean, is it? I just don't know if it's worth it.
Not at this point. You don't know what's going on, right?
We don't know what's going on. We have no answers. Nothing.
Not yet. It's too much uncertainty. It really is.
Yes. No.
I tell you what. Let's see. Well, we got some time. We're on the edge. I got a music profile of one of our favorite singers, Miss Avery Sunshine, who did She did 3 shows last week. Did any of you see those 3 shows she did online?
Yes, they're very well done.
Oh yeah, she was singing. But I was like, now you gotta do them again this week. You gotta do something. You just can't leave us hanging.
Right.
I think that somebody should create a national schedule so we can all schedule our lives. And,
all these
concerts? I think it would be great to do.
That is a great idea.
That's a great idea. Of who's doing what?
Do what artists do we have in our community that we would want to watch perform live? Who do we have
in our community? I would love to see Rasan. I would love. You know what? I would also, now that she's finally come out to herself, I would love to see the Brat at least come out and do a concert with a few people, do a few songs, because we haven't seen her do anything musically for a while, and I would love to. She
sings.
She raps. The Brat.
She did come out.
She did.
Come out of what? Oh, please! Was she ever in anything?
Well,
to herself.
She was very in the gray.
The Brat. So you mean to tell me you didn't think the Brat was in the light?
No.
I don't think anybody said that.
No, Queen Latifah's been in the gray forever too.
But
never.
Right.
Queen Latifah's never been in the gray.
You can't invite somebody to come in and represent the community when they won't represent the community. Now that she's finally represented, all I'm saying is she's part of the community. I would love to see her come out and do some things, do a concert. So you ask somebody from our community, ta-da! That's what
I would love to see them do a virtual ladies' night reunion.
Oh, that would be high. That'd be high.
Ooh.
That would be sickening.
That would be high. But anyway, y'all, I'm gonna run this video because this is one of my favorite songs by this lady. It's called "The Ugly Part of Me." And,
Avery, yes, I love this.
And our good Judy Yalzara's in this video too. So anyway,
yes, she is.
So run it, y'all. Run it, PJ.
Last night I got mad. I said things I shouldn't have said. No. I wouldn't even let him talk. All he could do was walk away. He was gone and it was too late for me to say it's just that ugly part of me. That part of me, I don't want nobody to see. missing, kinda going through. I had no reason to trip out on you. Yes, I was acting like a fool, and I'm sorry. And all I can say, it's just that ugly part of me. 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 I don't know about you, but I got an ugly side. It's just that ugly.
All right, y'all. Oh, that's one of my favorite songs.
Oh, yes,
One of my favorite songs by her. Anyway, so talk to me, folks. What's going on? What are y'all doing during this shutdown?
Well, I had an anxiety scare, which I never get anxiety, but it was pretty scary. And so I have taken up meditating so I won't go through that again.
I got a phone call from my professor this morning. He was giving, hi. I was like, hello. He was like, this is blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, hey, professor. He was like, yeah, I have some assignments that I haven't gotten from you. I was like, oh, yeah.
You need to get on it.
I said, work.
You were having anxiety attacks over because of what?
I don't know. That's what they said it was. I thought they told me you need to come to the hospital. We might be having a heart attack. I was like, oh.
Well, they are they're getting their money's worth out of you over there. So,
Kaiser is not charging at this point.
Really?
No. They said there's no copay. Just come. They said we're not doing any charging right now during this period.
Which I think is absolutely amazing. What I just find really, really interesting about all of this is that the y'all president, her, she, she was still working. They were still working on trying to get the whole Affordable Care Act
dismantled. They were trying to dismantle it, right? Healthcare in this country is just an absolute mess. It's an absolute mess.
It really is. It really is. And these frontline workers don't have the tools they need to be effective in their jobs.
Oh yeah, a couple of doctors are dying. Actually, a couple of doctors died today. They mentioned it.
We are talking about this is the richest and the greatest country in the world. I keep telling everybody when I went to Colombia to get my extensive dental work done, it was extensive.
Yeah,
it was.
But it was worth every penny, baby. Because when I tell you that, I look at your teeth and be like, "Oh, I can't."
Amazing.
But that was my awakening, because I said it before, and I'm going to say it right here. I have never had better, more professional, more caring medical care in my life. And this man still contacts me. He sent me a message the other day asking me about, how we're doing and how I'm doing. I mean, it's the way they treat their patients. And I heard this is like this in other countries. Period. It's something to marvel at. And
think about it. So what kind of healthcare programs do they have over there? Because it's probably free for them.
Right.
Right, because it's all paid by tax dollars.
Right. Right. So you just, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. And we think we got it so great. And I'm not saying that we should not be grateful and thankful and all that stuff. I'm not saying that, but I think we need to really take a step back and lose a little bit of the bravado that we carry around the world and understand it ain't all that.
Well, think about this. We have record number of people that filed for unemployment. Guess what they also lost besides their job? Healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Which is why I said this is such it's ironic that this would all happen the way it's like a weird poetic justice of sorts that this would happen while you have worked almost your entire presidency to dismantle the Affordable Care Act, and now we're hit with a crisis, or not one thing but two things that Barack Obama put in place that you have worked to dismantle are two of the things that we need most, which was one, that committee that he dismantled like 2 years ago.
The pandemic committee?
Yes, that would have prevented half of this.
Pandemic.
and then the Affordable Care Act that you're still trying to dismantle when it's clear that the rest of the country needs the Affordable Care Act right now. It's crazy.
Well, I tell you what, it's really going to all come to a head when this virus starts to penetrate the rural community, because rural hospitals have been underserviced, underinvested for years, and they are not prepared. They're not prepared for what's getting ready to happen.
And I think it's less about rural. But I think Tony Nelson said this a while back, and I think this really does come down to class, the have and the have-nots. It really, really is. And when the haves start getting affected, that's when
I remember saying that, and I believe that. But I think, to Jamil's point, the hospitals in the rural community have been closing in record numbers. They don't have hospitals. They don't have hospitals. So, the rural community, these coal mining communities are the people who put Trump into office.
That's right.
And these are the people who are still going to church. By the way, there's a church down in Largo that was black church that was still open with a black preacher, but black parishioners. But so if this hits that community and these people have no place to go, then what are they going to do? They're gonna
die. That's what's gonna happen. They're gonna die.
Yeah.
I feel like this. I know y'all probably talked about this before I got here. But in reference to that church thing, my thing is this: if you want to go to church, go ahead. Good, get your life. Go lock the church down and let all them fools stand there with each other. Y'all can all stay there together.
But that's easy said and done. But those people come back out and they
lock them in.
They mix in with the rest of the community.
That's right.
It's really not fair. And here's the spiritual part of me. God told us to be obedient.
Yes. Obey the laws of the land.
Obey the law. And when you
the moral laws of the land.
When you are not being obedient, you're doing just the exact opposite. And the crazy thing is, the preacher, the one in PG County, is a white guy, but the church members are majority black. Right now in PG County.
I didn't hear about that. Where?
Largo, right in Largo.
Right, Largo.
By me?
Right.
Yes, by you.
The county executive should have put them into jail. All of them, quarantined all of them.
As I said, they should have locked the doors and locked them in. They got a bathroom inside. They're all right.
Yeah, I'm sure they got some food. They'll be okay.
I'm sure they do. Lock them all in.
Yo, let's talk about something else, because L Train watches The Masked Singer, and I did not know Shaka and Dionne Warwick were on that show.
Yeah, Shaka.
Patty Bell was on there too.
Who?
Patty, was she on the last season?
So yeah, she was on last season. Yeah.
She did pretty good though. She
did.
So who else was on the show? So these are all the people that they've lost already?
Yeah. So far, yeah. I mean, so Shaka Khan, I felt like she got a raw deal, because I watched it and I was really impressed. There were a couple of performances of hers, and I was like, oh, Shaka's slaying with the vocals.
So you actually knew it was Shaka before?
Yeah, you could tell.
Some vocals are so signature. Like when Patty sung, I was like,
exactly.
Patty.
And sometimes that's part of the reason why they get voted off, because
if
there's no guest.
There's
Shaka got voted off rather early.
She did. Now Dion, on the other hand, I feel like Dion should sit back and enjoy her royalties. Maybe come out and do like some poetry once a year.
L Train. Let me step in here.
I love Dionne Warwick.
Dionne Warwick is negative $10 million in debt.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. She is. So she has to do something at 80 years old. It's sad. And the crazy thing is, but she doesn't have the voice. But it's a live video of her singing "What the World Needs Now" is lovely. That woman's the measure of control that woman had over her singing voice is something that's almost unheard of. It's almost in the same line like Shirley Horn. Is what she didn't do. She can't do that too much anymore.
Right.
I think she was definitely one of the most underrated vocalists. That came around in a long time. She was a hell of a.
I mean, she was a huge star.
I don't know if she's I think she may be underrated with the blacks.
Yeah,
but
I hear black
she was the original crossover queen.
Oh no, she was a huge star.
Yeah, I hear black people saying that she can't sing, and I'm like, oh God, oh my God.
Oh
no.
She smoked and drank too.
But one of my favorite songs is by her, and that's "Walk Away," not "Walk On By," because everybody's like, "You mean Walk On By?" No, go to YouTube and look up "Walk Away," and the way she soars in that song is tremendous. And it's unfortunate because she can't do that now.
She can't do that.
She's 80 years old. Of course, she's 80 years old.
No.
And she evil as hell.
And to
smokes and drinks.
To this day, I have not heard anybody sing the Battle Hymn of Republic like her. It's amazing. Her version of she did it on the Martin Luther King special.
Really?
Oh yeah, look.
I need to go look that up.
Dionne Warwick. I'm gonna find her. Sings the snot out of it.
She has an amazing voice. She definitely had a gift.
Are you telling me that
even on that show, you still hear her. Like I said, she had a measure of control. She controlled, but you could still hear her control. Or she never ever does too much.
She knows exactly. This is true.
Right.
Exactly where to place it, and she moves off of it.
Well, she's a stylist.
You know what?
It's interesting that you would say that because that was always one of the things that I admired most about Whitney. Whitney, later, because Whitney was trying to understand her voice later in her career. But one thing about the long span of her career, she was very clear about where she could go. So Whitney would know, like, okay, I don't know if I can hold that note, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to run up and tap that and then come down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they learn how to sing that song, tell that story through their range. But my question is, Shaka and Dionne Warwick have very signature voices. How could you not know who those people were? Were they camouflaging them?
You did, and they knew who Patti LaBelle was. To know Patti LaBelle could not camouflage her voice at all.
Ever.
Now Gladys Knight, they said, Gladys Knight was on the first season. She did a pretty good job with camouflaging.
She's top 3.
Yeah, but Patti LaBelle said she didn't even try. She said because she knows she can't, and it is what it is.
Shaka, did she do any signature screams? Because when she did that once, it's like, oh, that's Shaka Khan.
The only thing I heard her sing was "Let's give them something to talk about," and she, and I think that's what she got put off for.
Bonnie Raitt, that's my favorite.
I thought she was good. I really like Shaka. I was disappointed to see her go as early as she did. I thought she would make the top 9 at least, or top 6 or whatever it is, but she didn't. I was very disappointed.
Who got eliminated tonight?
Huh?
Who got eliminated tonight?
I don't know.
Oh,
yeah, they must pay.
I don't know because I watched the beginning of it and then I dozed off to sleep. That's why I was late coming to the show.
I paid them a lot of money to go on that show.
Well, I think they do, and
the longer they stay.
They had to twist Patti LaBelle's arm to go, and she did not want to do it, but they twisted her to get her go.
And that check was right.
Well, because that can also impact your legacy. You're this fantabulous multi-Grammy award-winning singer, and you get out there and you lose to somebody that's not even a singer.
Well, they were saying it was a big article. I can't remember the whole crux of the article, but they were saying, why do all the legends get put off the show? All the legends get put off very early. But I think we have a real expectation of these older singers that's just impossible for them to.
Right. I mean, they're not going to sound like they did in their prime. Come on.
Also, too, I mean, when you're talking about a show like this, when we talk about legends are legends because they have unique voices. Like they have vocal, as Patty also would say, they have vocal affectations that we absolutely adore. You know what I mean? Like you would hear a Luther vocal affectation, like that's Luther or Jamie Foxx or LaBelle or So when you hear those things, it's not foreign to me that they got eliminated because you hear it and you know it. You know what I mean? It just is.
Exactly.
That's what makes them uniquely themselves.
And it's so funny that you said that because I can remember when I read this Rolling Stones article about Chaka Khan, and it said the guy said the first time I heard Chaka Khan sing on her very first album with Rufus, he said she had a voice that immediately reminded me of no one else.
Yep.
No one else.
No one can do that. Right.
And he said that's what I knew, that this woman would be a legend, and every woman who comes behind her who tries to sound like her, her career will sink. They might sound like her, they might surpass her, but they will never ever go to the heights that she go.
Yeah, she can't even sing like she used to anymore.
No, she can't.
The only person that I feel came close is Vesta.
Oh, that's good.
That's why Vesta used to sing background for her.
Vesta was one of her girls.
Yeah. I saw a show where Vesta and Melissa Morgan was singing background for her at the time, and she would turn it up and to hit certain notes.
Yeah, she keeps her a stable of good girls behind her, man. She ain't
oh yeah, because the girls that are on that concert sound just like two of the girls sound just like her. They would hit the same note.
Well, most of the time, most vocalists will choose background singers that sound like them or that can mimic their sound.
Right.
And if something happens with their vocal, they easily fill in. So that's almost like a standard across the board.
Yeah. Like Stevie, that guy used to sound just like Stevie. Keith, what's his name?
I mean, they all do it. Patti LaBelle has one chick that sings background for her. My God.
That's Mary Griffith.
Yeah, baby, when I tell you that she sound like Patty,
and you know she's Teresa Griffith.
Teresa Griffith, woo!
Teresa Griffith, what mother?
Teresa Griffith is the lady who does the Rhythm of Love.
Yeah, I know that. So the lady that
girl sings.
Is that Teresa Griffin's mother? Aunt?
No, they're sisters.
Oh, they're sisters.
They're from a famous gospel family from I think Dallas. Okay. It's a bunch of them. It's a bunch of them. But Teresa Griffin ain't got nothing on Mary Griffin.
Really? Because I've seen Teresa Griffin.
A quick story. I hosted a show. This dentist was having a big birthday party, her 50th birthday party. It's about 10 years ago, maybe, in Baltimore. Took Trenton with me. And when we walked in, they were doing a sound check. It was at this big hotel. They were doing a sound check. I said, whoever that woman is in there singing, Black Brother, Strong Brother, is singing her ass off. We went in. As soon as I saw her face, I said, oh, that's Mary Griffith. And Trent was like, who? I said, that's Patti LaBelle, backup singer. And she looked over at me, and then she winked her eye. Anyway, she and I became fast friends. She went up. She brought me and Trent to her room. She smoked her weed in the room and all that stuff. But she came back downstairs, and she did her concert. And she sang every legend song. She did Whitney, she did Dionne Ward, she did Aretha Franklin, and then she said, "But I'm going to say the best for last." And she started singing Patti LaBelle. And when she got to Patti LaBelle, she changed her complete voice, and you would swore it was Patti LaBelle on stage.
Oh wow!
And, I mean, you would have swore it was Patti. And then she said, "Say my name," and everybody said, "Patti, Patti." She said, "That ain't my name." The child ain't my name. She was phenomenal. That woman has an amazing voice, and she has several YouTube videos.
Yeah,
Mary Griffin and but Teresa Griffin is great too. They both are.
Yeah.
I love Teresa Griffin. Teresa Griffin. But I'm gonna look for a video of Mary Griffin.
Shout out to Tony Scruggs too.
Tony Scruggs.
Oh, Layla Hathaway's backup singer.
Yeah. But this is interesting though. This is why I loved. I thought 20 Feet from Stardom was absolutely amazing because I think.
Guys, we got 1 minute. Go ahead.
It actually gave a spotlight for all of those. It only takes more talent to be the background vocal.
Well, Lisa Fisher, give me a break. I mean, Lisa Fisher sang with everybody. So.
She's the best.
She got a Grammy too.
Yeah, she was phenomenal. But what else is going? We got to wrap up, guys. Anything else happening real quick? No.
That's it for me.
That's it for you. I miss you guys. I
miss you too, but it's good to see you guys. And I'd rather miss you guys for a little while than miss you forever. So
Amen.
That's
seriously,
right.
I'm happy to be a part of this circle. We welcome L Train. I love L Train, and I'm looking forward to continuing these conversations.
It's so important. And look, y'all, if anybody has any anxiety or something, call me. I'm teleworking. We can talk.
Okay.
We can go for walks at the park, 6 feet apart.
6 feet.
There. That's
Some
right.
people are now saying 23 feet, but hey,
that's
you have a big sneeze.
Yeah.
Do your census, y'all. Do your census.
You got to midnight. Come on, do your census, everybody. Go.
All right, y'all. We'll see y'all next week. Check out the issue. It's a great story. All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
DC's #1 recording studio. Listen vision, listen vision. DC's #1 recording studio. Listen vision, listen vision. DC's #1 recording studio.